Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on heat transfer. Today we are beginning second part of convection, that is a new topic for us. So let's begin. Before beginning our new topic, we will do some revision of our previous lecture. So as I was telling you that convection chapter will be divided into three parts. Our first part was introduction, that is over, and our second part will be empirical correlations for free and forced convection. So let's do a quick revision of introduction part. In our previous lecture, we started with a free convection problem. In which we need to prove that Nusselt number can be expressed as a function of Prandtl number and Grashof number, and this will be done with the help of dimensional analysis, and to be particular with the help of Buckingham's pi theorem. So this is the problem arrangement, and these are the variables which are part of this problem with symbols and its dimensions. So we applied pi method. And this is the way we derived the first term, that is pi 1 term, then pi 2 term, and at last pi 3 term, and then we combined all of them together so that we obtained this relationship that Nusselt number is function of Grashof number and Prandtl number. Then the next topic was dimensionless number. This is very important topic for heat transfer. First is Reynolds number. It is ratio of inertia to viscous force, and this is the physical significance of the same. Second is Grashof number. It indicates the relative strength of buoyant force to viscous forces. So Grashof number is nothing but multiplication of buoyant force and inertia force divided by square of viscous force. Grashof number has a role in free convection similar to that of played by Reynolds number in forced convection. Then we have Prandtl number. It is the indicative of relative ability of fluid to diffuse momentum and internal energy by molecular mechanism. So this is the formula mu Cp by K, and it is nothing but ratio of kinematic viscosity to thermal diffusivity. Then the next number was Stanton number. It is the ratio of heat transfer coefficient to the flow of heat per unit temperature rise due to velocity of fluid. So it is given by this, and Stanton number is nothing but ratio of Nusselt number and product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. The next was Peckley number. It is the ratio of heat transfer rate by convection to the flow rate by conduction under unit temperature gradient and thickness L. So this is the way it is defined, that Peckley number is LV divided by alpha, where alpha is thermal diffusivity. Peckley number can also be defined as a multiplication of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. The last number was Grade's number. It is the ratio of heat capacity of fluid flowing through the pipe per unit length to the conductivity of pipe material. So this was the end of the introduction part of convection. And now we will begin our new topic, that is convection part 2. Our part 2 is about empirical correlations for free and forced convection. So this entire chapter is all about various formulas that will be used for obtaining the heat transfer heat convection coefficient as well as the heat flow rate in case of free and forced convection. Our first theory is bulk temperature and mean film temperature. The physical properties like viscosity, thermal conductivity, density and specific heat, these quantities are dependent on temperature. So these are dependent on temperature. The accuracy of the results obtained by theoretical relations and dimensionless empirical correlation would depend on the temperature chosen for evaluation of these properties. So what is the meaning of this? See, suppose our target is to obtain the value of heat transfer coefficient H and ultimately Q. Okay. So it is necessary to obtain these quantities for obtaining the heat transfer coefficient. So all these are dependent on time. So if something is wrong in calculation of temperature, we will get all these quantities wrong and ultimately our whole analysis will go wrong. So whether we have a theoretical relation or dimensionless empirical correlations, the accuracy will depend on this temperature that is chosen for evaluation of these properties. So there is no uniform or standard procedure that has been attained in selection of this reference temperature. So this is a very vital thing in heat transfer analysis, specifically for convection. However, we need to evaluate fluid properties either on the basis of bulk temperature or mean film temperature. Okay. Now one by one we will see what is this mean bulk temperature. First definition is mean bulk temperature TB. It denotes the equilibrium temperature that would result if the fluid cross section was thoroughly mixed in an adiabatic container. To repeat this part, it denotes the equilibrium temperature that would result if the fluid at a cross section was thoroughly mixed in an adiabatic container. So to take a small example of this, let us have one cylinder and during a particular cross section, let us say, obviously this is adiabatic container, so no heat transfer is occurring with environment. So if the fluid at this cross section is thoroughly mixed, then it denotes the equilibrium temperature, that is mean bulk temperature TB. For turbulent flow of fluids in ducts, this temperature is very nearly equal to the fluid temperature near the duct axis. So we can say if this is the duct again, then the temperature which is available at this axis will be equal to the mean bulk temperature. In heat exchangers, the fluid flowing through the tubes may be heated or cooled during the fluid flow passage. So here it is slightly different way in which we can go, that the bulk temperature in case of heat exchanger is taken as arithmetic mean of temperature at inlet to the temperature at exit from the heat exchanger tube. So in case of heat exchangers, see, in case of heat exchangers we are going to utilize this formula. Okay, and in case of duct it is taken as the fluid temperature near the duct axis. Okay, now the next temperature is mean film temperature, TF. It is nothing but the arithmetic mean of surface temperature of solid, that is Ts, and the undisturbed fluid temperature T infinitive of the fluid at which the flows past state. So this is again the arithmetic mean of surface temperature and undisturbed fluid stream. Okay, so this is the mean film temperature, TF. So this is all about bulk temperature and mean film temperature. Now our next theory is local and average convective coefficients. First of all, we will focus on this figure. Here consider this as a flat plate which is hot one, and from the left hand side a stream of fluid is passing over this flat plate. The undisturbed parameters, that is undisturbed velocity and temperature, are U infinity and T infinity respectively. The temperature of this surface is denoted as Ts. The total length of the flat plate is small l, and here for the analysis purpose we are taking a section of this flat plate which is having a thickness of dx, which is at the distance of x from the beginning, and the heat flow direction is vertical one. The local convection coefficient is given by Hx. So here consider a flow conditions where the fluid with the velocity is U infinitive and temperature T infinitive flows past a stationary flat plate of length L and width B. So here width B is actually not visible on this screen because it will be on the perpendicular direction to the screen which you are viewing, that is inside this plane. So this is not visible part, width V. If the temperature Ts is at the plate surface is greater than the free stream temperature T infinity, then the convective heat transfer occurs from the plate to fluid. Obviously, if plate is hot and stream is at low temperature, heat transfer will occur from plate to this fluid stream. Here in this case, the flow conditions vary from point to point on the surface, and because of that the convective film coefficient and heat flux would also vary along the surface. However, for an elementary strip of the length dx, that is this, located at distance x from the leading edge, the convective coefficient can be assumed to be practically constant. So we will be assuming convective coefficient to remain constant for this thickness, elementary strip. So the local heat flux is given by this formula. As you are all aware, this is Newton-Raphman law, that Qx is equal to Hx dA Ts minus T infinitive, where Hx is the local convection coefficient Hx. And instead of dA, that is the elementary area, we can write down B into dx, where B is the width of the strip. Okay, that is inside this plane, where Hx is local convection coefficient. Now the total heat transfer rate Q can be obtained by integrating the local heat flux over the entire surface, that is given by this formula, that is 0 to L, that is for the total length of the flat plate. So we have taken constant terms outside, and on the integration part we are only having Hx dx. Now we can define average coefficient H bar for entire surface. The total heat transfer rate may also be expressed as this formula, that Q is equal to H bar BL Ts minus T infinitive. So we can combine these two equations and we can obtain that H bar is equal to 1 upon L integration 0 to L Hx dx. So this is the formula for average heat transfer coefficient. The average value of convection coefficient based upon the total surface area is used in Newton-Raphman relation to calculate the total amount of heat transfer for a given set of conditions. Okay, so this will be used. Average value of convective coefficient will be used to calculate the total amount of heat flow. Now the local convection coefficient, that was Hx, becomes a controlling factor only when the local temperature in the boundary layer has certain temperature limit which is not to be exceeded. So this is based on the local conditions. Okay. Now let's move forward with our new theory, that is the correlations for free convection. Here the important dimensionless numbers will be Nusselt number, Grashof number and Prandtl number. We have already seen all these three equations. Okay, so based on equation developed from dimensional analysis for use in convection coefficient, H is Nu is equal to function of GRPR. If you recall, with the help of dimensional analysis we have already proved this. Okay, so based on further experiments we can say that Nusselt number can also be written as a constant into power of Grashof raised to A and Prandtl raised to B. Here, through rigorous experimental tests for free convection with various fluids flowing past horizontal cylinders and vertical plates, the exponents A and B have been found to be numerically same. So A and B will not be different, it will be same, and this allows us to modify this equation in this way. So if you see, as the powers are same, we can take them together. So Gr into Pr raised to M, that is where here M is a common power which we have taken. Okay, so now the important part is these two values, that is what will be the value of C and what will be the value of M. Because if you see, Gr and Pr are based on these conditions which are based on the experimental data that we are having, that is based on the temperature and the geometry. These are already available to us, so only we need to take care is of the value of constant C and constant M. So on which parameter it depends? It depends on the nature of the flow, that is whether it is laminar or turbulent, the geometric configuration, that is whether it is a plate or cylinder, and its orientation, that is vertical or horizontal. Maybe this part is not visible to you, so I am reading the whole statement again, that the constant C and exponent M depend on the nature of the flow, that is laminar or turbulent, geometric configuration, that is if it is plate or cylinder, and its orientation, vertical or horizontal. For free convection, the fluid properties needed for determination of Grashof number and Prandtl number are generally evaluated at mean film temperature. So all these two dimensionless number will be calculated at mean film temperature. The product GRPR is often referred to a Rayleigh's number, and its values sets a criterion for laminar or turbulent character of the flow. So this value for laminar flow, the product of GRPR will be in this range, that is from 10⁴ to 10⁹, and if it is greater than 10⁹, then it will be for turbulent flow. Now we will see different kind of arrangements in which we will be having the empirical correlations. So horizontal plates, cylinders and wires. So first let us consider plates. Now in these plates we will consider this arrangement, that heated surface is up and or cooled surface is down. So whenever you will be doing numericals on this, you will get a better idea of this. In this case, heated surface is up or cooled surface is down. So for laminar flow, GRPR will be in this range, that is 2 into 10⁵ to 2 into 10⁷, and based on that our empirical correlation will be this. Okay. Now suppose it is a turbulent flow, then the value of GRPR will be 2 into 10⁷ to 3 into 10⁻10, and for that case the Nusselt number or empirical correlation will be given by this formula. Now another case is here heated surface is down or cooled surface up. So again we are taking different range. Laminar flow 3 into 10⁵ to 7 into 10⁸, that is the value of product of GRPR. Then the Nusselt number is given by this formula. And turbulent flow, the range for product of GRPR is 7 into 10⁸ to 11 into 10⁻10, and the formula for that is this, that is Nusselt number is given by 0.107 GRPR raised to 0.33. In these correlations, the characteristic length that is used in computing the Nusselt and Grashof number. Now what is this? If you recall, it is talking about Nu to be equal to HL by K. So they are talking about this L, and the same L is also coming in the Grashof number. So this characteristic length is either the length of side of the square mean of two dimensions of rectangular surface, that is a plus b divided by 2 in case of rectangle, or 0.9 times the diameter of circular disc. Okay. Now the third case is long cylinder. The meaning of long cylinder is if the ratio of length to diameter is greater than 60, then it is long cylinder. Now the laminar flow here is product of GRPR if it is between 10⁴ to 10⁹. Then the empirical correlation for this is given by formula 0.53 GRPR raised to 0.5. For turbulent flow where range is 10⁹ to 10⁻12 for product of GRPR, this is the formula for Nusselt number. For cross flow over the horizontal pipes, the formula is given by this, that is 0.37 GRPR raised to 0.25. Here the characteristic length is the cylinder diameter. Now find horizontal wires where diameter is less than 0.005 centimeter. Here the Nusselt number is given by this formula, which is 0.4 GRPR raised to 0. The characteristic length here is wire diameter. Now vertical plates and large cylinder. Here for laminar flow, the product range is 10⁴ to 10⁹, and the empirical correlations are this: 0.59 GRPR raised to 0.25. The turbulent flow will have the range of GRPR product as 10⁹ to 10⁻12, and the formula for empirical correlation is Nu is equal to 0.13 GRPR. Now for the inclined plate, we can have, in case of inclined plate, the Grashof number will be multiplied with cos theta, where theta is the angle of inclination from vertical and use vertical plate constants. Okay. Now the next is miscellaneous solids, that is spheres, short cylinders and blocks. So here Nusselt number is given by this formula 2 plus 0.43 GRPR raised to 0.25. For higher values, that is when GRPR is between 3 into 10⁵ to 8 into 10⁻10, this 0.43 is now replaced by 0.5. For short cylinders in which D is equal to G, sorry, here it is H. When for the short cylinders, Nu is equal to 0.775 GRPR raised to 0.28. For other cylinders, Nu is equal to 0.52 GRPR raised to 0.25, where characteristic length is distance travelled by a particle in boundary layer. Now for rectangular solids, the characteristic length is worked out from this relation 1/L is equal to 1/LH plus 1/LV, where LV and LH refer to the significant vertical and horizontal dimensions. When the flow is considered through a non-circular conduct such as square, rectangular duct, annular space between concentric pipes and tubes, the significant length is equivalent diameter defined as this, that is D equivalent is equal to 4 into cross sectional area divided by weighted perimeter. Now we are going to have one example on this. So this is our question, that is we will not go much in detail here, but we will quickly see that how we can apply empirical correlations on this. First of all, let us go through this question, that a hot square plate of 40 cm cross 40 cm at 100 degrees Celsius is exposed to atmospheric air at 20 degrees Celsius. Make calculations for heat loss through both the surfaces of the plate if the plate is kept in two cases. First is here, if the first case is this, case 1 is A, plate is kept vertical, and second case is plate is kept horizontal. The following correlations have been suggested, that is Nu is given by this formula for vertical position of the plate, and for the horizontal position of the plate these two are there, that for upper surface and for lower surface, where air properties are evaluated at mean temperature. Now if you see, this is the question, and as I was speaking very quickly all the empirical correlations, you don't need to remember these equations, because this will be given to you either in question or you will be allowed to use the heat transfer data book. So in this question you are already given all the empirical correlations that you need to apply for this problem. So let's take this. So here we will not go much in detail, but I will give you the idea that how it is done. So here we are given two temperatures, first is 100 degree and second is 20 degree. So we will calculate the mean film temperature here, that is the average of this will be T, which is equal to 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, and based on this mean film temperature from the heat transfer data book or from the air property table, we can obtain the values of rho, then K, then Cp and nu, as well as we can obtain the value of beta based on this, that is 1 upon temperature in Kelvin. So this will be either given to you in question, which is not part of this question, but you can also obtain these values from the data book. So now based on this, our first step will be this. Second step will be to obtain Prandtl number PR and Grashof number GR. Okay. Now the third case is based on these two, what we will be obtaining is the product of these two, that is GR into PR. The third step is we will be consider, first is vertical plate, vertical position. So obviously what we are going to utilize, we are going to utilize this, and based on this what we will be getting, as we have already obtained GRPR, we will be getting the value of Nu, and once we get Nu, as you recall, it is HL by K. So based on this we can obtain the value of H, and once we get the value of H, we can obtain the value of Q, that is HA delta T. So this is the first way. Fourth point will be, we will be considering the case of horizontal one. Okay, for horizontal what we will be doing, Here we will be having two separate cases. Here Q will be given by, as it is kept vertical, it is 2 times H A delta T, because we are considering both the sides. And in case of horizontal, there are two separate cases, one is for uppercase and one is for lowercase. So it will have two parts. First is for upper and second is for lower. So for both of them we will be applying separate empirical correlations. We will be getting different NU, we will be getting different H for both of them, we will be getting different Q, and then once we get both this Q, we will be summing up them together, and we will obtain the final value of Q. Okay, so this Q will be equal to, let us say this is upper and this is lower. Let me say this as upper and this as lower. This is again upper and this is lower. Then Q will be Q upper plus Q lower. Okay, we are done with this. So in this way we can obtain the value of heat transfer through this hot square plate. So we are not going into detail of calculation part. I have just explained you the methodology that we should follow. So this is very roughly written over here, and I would suggest you to do this by yourself. Now our next theory is simplified free convection relations for air. So this is our standard formula correlation. Here the HL by K can also be written in this way, that is we have simply written the formulas for GR and PR respectively. So we can have some arrangement here that in this way, this is just empirical correlation, so we are not going into detail of this. Okay, so here the first group, that is rho square beta G Cp over mu K, contains only fluid properties and it is called as free convection modulus. For purpose of rapid and approximately estimating for free convection coefficient at normal atmospheric condition, this value, the mean value of this parameters, and it is taken as constant. So based on that, we have simply replaced this value with C1 and this term remains as it is. Okay. As you can see very easily. The exponent m is usually 0.5 for laminar flow and 0.33 for turbulent flow. So this reduces our formula in this way for laminar and turbulent. In general, the simplified relation is given by H is equal to capital A delta T upon L m, where the constants A and m, they are depending on the geometry and flow conditions, and significant length L also the function of geometry and flow. Now the next is correlations for forced convection. That is the separate theory. We have already finished the free convection part, correlations for free convection. Now we are dealing with correlations for forced convection. So let's begin. In case of forced convection, for usual forced convection circumstances, the following dimensionless numbers are applied. First is obviously the Nusselt number Nu is equal to HL by K. Second is Reynolds number Re is equal to rho LV by mu. Third is Prandtl number PR, which is equal to mu Cp by K. Fourth is Stanton number St, which is equal to H divided by rho Cp V. The conventional generalized basic equations for the use in determining convection coefficient H are given by this formula, that here the Nusselt number is function of Reynolds number and Prandtl number, and we can separate them here, that it is equal to C1 Re raised to m into PR raised to n. And second case is Nusselt number is given by F2. Sorry, here a mistake is there. Here it should be St. Stanton number is function of Reynolds number and Prandtl number, and it is given by C2 into Re raised to A and PR raised to B. The next is laminar flow. First we will discuss about laminar flow, and then we will discuss about the turbulent flow. First is the local film coefficient for laminar flow past a flat plate may be obtained from the correlation Nu. As it is local, we have given subscript x, 0.332 Rex, that is local Reynolds number, into PR raised to 0.33. Where the fluid properties are evaluated at mean film temperature, that is the arithmetic average of the temperature of fluid and temperature of surface of the plate. Second is Reynolds number must not be less than 40,000. Prandtl number must be more than 0.60. So these are the conditions that should be satisfied while applying this Reynolds this formula. So for a plate of length L, the average value of Nusselt number of convection coefficient may be obtained by integration, that is given by this formula we have already studied at the very beginning of this lecture, that is H bar is equal to 1 upon L integration 0 to L Hx dx. Now here what we have done, we have simply put the relation which was available on the previous slide, that is we are utilizing this formula. We are utilizing this formula in our next slide, and instead of Reynolds and Prandtl we are putting their formulas. As you can see over here, that H bar is equal to 1 upon L integration 0 to L K upon X 0.332. This is Reynolds number raised to 0.5 and Prandtl number raised to 0.33 dx. So here these are just mathematical simplifications, that we are only left with integration 0 to 1 upon x raised to 0.5 dx. And finally after applying integration we are getting this formula, and the value of Nu, that is given by, as you can see, we have finally obtained this value, that once we simplify this we will be getting, okay, here we can modify this. Okay, we will be keeping up to this here only. We will not go into detail of this. Here we are getting the Nusselt number as 0.664 Reynolds raised to 0.5 into PR raised to 0.3. Okay, we will go here. We will see how it has been arrived. That here H bar L by K, that is equal to, what we have done, that we have multiplied this 0.332 into 2, so it is now 0.664. then we are having K and L are already gone on the left hand side. V upon nu, that is V upon nu into L raised to 0.5 into PR raised to 0.33. So here what we are getting is 0.664 RE raised to 0.5 into PR raised to 0.33, that is the value of Nu that you can see on this formula. So the correlations has been also proposed for liquid metals, which is given by this formula, that NuX is equal to 0.565 ReX into PR. Now the next is turbulent flow. Just wait. So here there is a change in this title. This is not for turbulent flow. Here it is cylindrical surfaces flow inside pipes and tubes. So in this case, for uniform heat flux it will be 0.43, 4.36. For constant wall temperature, in case of slug flow, it is value is 5.78. For fully developed flow, the value is 3.66. And the following correlations has been suggested for flow inside the tubes, which is given by this formula. These are only empirical correlations that will be either given to you in examination, or you can use the heat transfer data books. That's why we are not going into detail. You can only see that HU is in this case HD by K instead of HL by K. The length is replaced with diameter, and the formula is given with this. The above identity is valid only when the pipe length is much greater than diameter, that is, the pipe is long. Second is fluid properties are evaluated at bulk temperature. Reynolds number and Nusselt number are calculated on basis of pipe diameter as length diameter, and Prandtl number lies in the range of 0.5 to 100. The constant wall temperature and fully turbulent flow has to be there. And the second case is Nusselt number is given by this another formula, which is also an empirical correlation, which is essentially only valid for short tubes. The previous correlation was for longer tubes. The fluid properties here are evaluated at bulk temperature except μs. Here, if you see, all other properties are calculated at bulk temperature, evaluated at bulk temperature, and only this μs, that is this portion, is evaluated at mean surface temperature. Okay, so you need to take care of this while applying this formula. The pipe diameter, is significant length parameter. Further, RE, L by D and mu should have values within the limits. That RE should be less than 2100, L by D should be greater than 1 and mu should be greater than 1. Now next is turbulent flow. First is turbulent flow over flat plate. The general equations giving the local heat transfer coefficient for turbulent flow when the Reynolds number is greater than 5 into 10 raised to 5 past the flat plate are given by this formula. NUX, that is local Nusselt number, is given by this formula. The next is this is also another formula that you can apply. This is only in continuation, this is not a separate title. This is one of the formulas. Out of these two you can apply any of them. So here NUX is given by this formula, where properties are evaluated at mean film temperature, and for the plate length L, the average Nusselt number is given by these empirical correlations. So I am only highlighting them, which will be available in heat transfer data book also. When the flow lies in the transitional range, that is neither laminar nor turbulent, then the value of Nusselt number, average Nusselt number, is given by this formula. Here the constant A takes the value of 18,700 at transitional Reynolds number 4 lakh, and it takes the value of 23,100 at transitional Reynolds number of 5 lakh. The turbulent flow in tubes is given by first. McAdam has suggested the general correlation for heating and cooling of the fluid in turbulent flow through long pipes is given by this formula. Nu is 0.023 Re raised to 0.8 into PR raised to N. Okay, the same thing is repeated over here, where the value of N is 0.4 if the fluid is being heated, and it is N is equal to 0.3 if fluid is being cooled. The fluid properties are here evaluated at mean bulk temperature. The Reynolds number should be between 10 raised to 4 to 12 into 10 raised to 4. The Prandtl number should be between 0.7 to 120 and L by D should be greater than 60. For gases such as air, Prandtl number is essentially constant and it can be dropped by putting it as a constant of 0.02. Now the next is Colburn proposed a correlation in terms of Stanton number, which is given by this formula. Where Stanton number is evaluated at mean bulk temperature, Reynolds and Prandtl number are calculated at average film temperature. Re, PR and L by D should have values within these limits, that is Reynolds number should be greater than 10 raised to 4, Prandtl number should be between 0.7 to 160 and L by D should be greater than or equal to 60. So here the McAdams Colburn relations are fairly accurate for temperature difference of 5 degree in case of liquids and 50 degree for gases. For greater temperature differences, Cedar and Tate proposed the following correlations, that is given by this relation. Where all fluid properties except mu W are calculated at mean bulk temperature and mu W is evaluated at wall temperature. the value of RE, PR and L by D should be in this range. For flow in short passages, these correlations need to be modified to account for variable velocity and temperature profile along the axis of the flow. So these are the modifications that we need to do. H upon H infinity is given by 1 plus D by L raised to 0.7 for value of L by D between 2 to 20, and another relation, that is H upon H infinity is equal to 1 plus 6 into D by L for value of L by D between 20 to 60. Now for large temperature differences Ts minus Tb with air, Desmond and Sams has given the following correlation given by this formula, where Ta upon Tb should be up to 3.55, Re should be greater than or equal to 10 raised to 4, Nu and Pr are evaluated at mean bulk temperature, Reynolds number is evaluated at mean film temperature. Now the turbulent flow over cylinders, which is given by this formula, the values of C and R depend on the flow Reynolds number, and further all the thermophysical properties are evaluated at film temperature. The next is turbulent flow over spheres. First is flow of gases over spheres. The formula is given by this for the range of Reynolds number 25 to 10 raised to 5. The fluid properties are to be evaluated at film temperature. Now for the flow of liquid past this sphere is given by this formula, where the Reynolds number is between 1 to 2000. Fluid properties again are to be evaluated at film temperature. Okay, now we are going through a small example here, where air is moving at 0.3 meter per second, blows over the top of the chest type freezer. The top of the freezer measures 0.9 by 1.5 meter and it is poorly insulated, so that the surface temperature remains 10 degrees Celsius. If the temperature of air is 30 degrees Celsius, make the calculations for heat transfer by forced convection from the top of the freezer. So here let's take this question here. So the first example was for free convection and the second example is for forced convection. Here let's begin. So we will be using the mean film temperature. The first temperature is 10 degrees Celsius and second is 30 degree. So mean film temperature will be T is equal to 30 plus 10, that is 40 divided by 2, that is 20 degrees Celsius. Based on this we will be getting few values, that is the kinematic viscosity nu, the value of thermal conductivity K, and Prandtl number PR. These are based on heat transfer data book that you can obtain from the tables. Now we can calculate the Reynolds number, which is given by V L by nu. Okay, the value of this will be when you calculate it should be like this, 17,928, which will be laminar flow. Then we can apply the Nusselt number formula correlation, which is not given in the question. It will be 0.664 into Re raised to 0.5 into Pr raised to 0.33, and again this will be given by HL by K. So based on this you will be able to obtain the value of H, and once you obtain the value of H, Q is given by H A delta T. That is quite straightforward. Okay, so you can do it by yourself. This is the way we can solve this problem. I would suggest you to do some problems by yourself. That will give you a better understanding of this. So this is the way you can obtain this relation. So this is the end of part 2 of convection, that is empirical correlations for free and forced convection. In our next lecture we will begin part 3 of convection, which is thermal boundary layers and hydrodynamic boundary layers. Thank you for watching this video.